Hello and welcome back to another Slay the Spire stream. I'm your host, Vegetablebread, and today we're going to be trying to extend a win streak with Silent. Alright, let's get into it. Card Ward, Common Relic, Rare card, usually not going to be the picks. Silent is pretty strong as a boss relic swap. Gold for a rare card is pretty good though. Gold for a rare card is a little bit more persuasive on Defect. Defect has some really powerful early game rare cards, whereas like the most powerful silent rare cards are things like Wraith Form and Burst, and those actually aren't very useful at the beginning of the game. Corpse Explosion is very useful, so there's definitely some good rare cards. But I think Silent is almost 100% boss swaps for me at this point. Looks like the 3-fight path is like this way into that elite. All the other ones have more fights, or fewer fights. Looks like we only get one elite in the act if we go this way. Or we could skip these fires and go to here, I guess. Get 2. We could get 4 if we fight him and then these 2. That seems like a lot. I don't know if Silent's really going to fight 4 elites in Act 1. But since we want 3, I think we're willing to do 4 hallway fights to get on the path with 3 elites here. And then the second one is optional, so we can skip that one, go to a fire, and then fight a third one. Or second one, I guess it would be. That seems like the path. Okay, let's do a swap. Calling Bell. Okay. Dreamcatcher, Gremlin Horn, Lizard Tail. Pretty weak Calling Bell here. Lizard Tail doesn't do anything to actually help us in fights. We might be using the Lizard Tail to take a more aggressive path to try and upgrade this to a more relevant relic. I mean, Lizard Tail is great if you can carry it to the heart. But we basically, like, swapped out our fairly good starting relic for, like, not a lot here. Because Dreamcatcher is nothing in fights, Lizard Tail is nothing, and a lot of times Gremlin Horn is nothing. In any, like, one enemy fight, Gremlin Horn doesn't do anything, which is like the majority of the harder fights in the game. Snake Plant, Writhing Mass, Giant Head, you know, like a lot of fights, Gremlin Horn does nothing. Almost all boss fights, with the exception of Donudeka. I guess, and the exception of Hyper Beam Guy. It is good in like Reptomancer and Spire Elites and stuff, so it's not terrible. It's also good in hallways. Most hallways have multiple enemies, but not a great outcome. So how do we take advantage of the Dreamcatcher with this path? We need to go optimize for campsites a little bit. Not entirely clear how we do that. There is a path that has a bunch of campsites. The one I originally talked about where we go left and then hit 4 campsites total. Dreamcatcher is okay, but it's not like... If this were a shovel, I guess this would have to be the shovel because shovel's rare, but then we'd definitely be going to campsites instead of elites here, but Dreamcatcher doesn't really get the same campsite value as shovel does, or peace pipe. But we should be pretty good in hallway fights, so I think we're going to plan on taking the 4 elite path. And because we might be willing to trade the Lizard Tail for other relics, it is possible we end up doing the 4 elite path here. Especially since Gremlin Horn makes us fairly good at hallway fights, so if we're able to, like, take these 4 hallway fights and we're still at like 40 plus health, we might plan on fighting a bunch of elites. We'll have to see how it pans out. I guess we could go to an early shop to dodge a 4th fight. I don't hate that. We are fairly weak, so picking up like a damage card or a potion there would be fairly strong. Yeah, in fact, I think I am going to do that. 4th fight is scary. Sometimes 4th fight is like Gang of Slimes or Gang of Gremlins or something. Oh, we have to click the leave button. Okay. Floor 1 Jawworm, always something you're excited to see. We're able to get through turn 1 without any damage, which is nice. Line up some damage with his buff turn. That's okay. do take a little bit this turn. Not able to break through his armor. So we've taken 2 in the fight so far. Ouch, this is the turn that really hurts. So we've taken 9 in the fight. Brutal. Oof, the hits keep coming, lining up all our defensive cards, and our Curse of the Bell on his buff turn is super bad. We don't have lethal. I guess we're taking another 7. Gross. Oh my god. I'll take another 2 versus doing 1 damage. Just getting brutalized by a Jawworm on floor 1. Yikes. Are you kidding me? We don't get lethal on this turn either. This Curse of the Bell just broke the game for us here. This is just madness. Taking 7 more damage. Good God. Well, the dream of fighting 4 elites is well and clearly dead. My goodness. Yeah, Jawworm is always a struggle for Silent. Also, hi, Nate. Haven't seen you around for a while. Yeah, but geez, with the Calling Bell too, it's extra brutal because we've got a extra curse in the deck and no extra cards. Man, that was just absolutely bonkers. We took like 40 damage to that Jawworm. I guess it's like 30 damage, but still, jeez. Dagger Throw is pretty good. That's fine, you don't have to chat. Just happy to have you around. I think we're taking Dagger Throw here, right? Like, if we're not taking Dagger Throw, it's Sneaky Strike. The only thing that makes me really excited about Sneaky Strike is we can use it to break a wing statue, if this is a wing statue. But, like, I don't think that's very important. So we're going to take Dagger Throw. Okay, any help for a clearly flagging Silent here? Bouncing Flask is strong. We can't afford Bouncing Flask Potion, but I think we're going to have to be happy with Bouncing Flask. Choke is here too. Choke is a damage card. Clearly not as good as Bouncing Flask. Bouncing Flask is also... Bouncing Flask and Choke, I suppose, have a good property. They're expensive, and our deck has a unplayable card in it, so we need to sort of increase the density of cost in our deck, which 2 cost cards do. Let's grab the Bouncing Flask and leave. Alright, I think I like this shot pick, especially since we took so much damage on floor 1. I think that worked out well. Let's split both and pass. Double Strike kills you, and we still take some damage here. Oh, actually we don't, because the Gremlin Horn did something. This is lethal. It was kind of a UI glitch. I managed to click the end turn before the card choice for the Dagger Throw came up, so then I had to choose the Dagger Throw card, but it also respected the end turn had already been clicked, so then it ended the turn immediately without me clicking, which is weird. Endless Agony versus Poison Stab, I think is the pick here. Probably still not taking Sneaky Strike, even with the Dagger Throw pick. It's probably just Poison Stab. Trying to do poison stuff. Might as well grab Poison Stab. Poison Stab's among the best damage commons in the game, too. Endless Agony does have some interesting interactions where you can do like an infinite with discard, draw, and Endless Agony because it creates extra cards for you to discard, but it's rarely relevant. It is mostly just like 0 energy, deal 8 damage, but Poison Stab is 1 energy, do 9, and maybe more. We did get the wing statue, so if we'd picked the Sneaky Strike, we would have been able to get some gold here. How do we feel about trading health for power right now? Well, we took a lot of damage to the Jawworm fight, so not great. Would be nice to remove a strike. deck is kind of crufty with the Curse of the Bell. 7 health puts us at 27. Feels dangerous. We're probably resting here either way, and we're probably not fighting 3 elites, so I think I am going to do this. Just because card removes are so good. Okay. Alright, let's try to have a better cultist fight than we had a Jawworm fight. Cultist fight can also kill you. Let's dagger throw first. He takes 3 then 2, so he's at 19 next turn. We do 9, 15 damage. But he does 11 damage next turn. So I think we just strike him and take the guaranteed 6. I don't think there was a way to avoid taking 6 damage there. It was one of those 2 turns, and I'd rather take the guaranteed lethal. Reflex is kind of neat with Dagger Throw. Dagger Throw Survivor are the activators. It still does say unplayable on it, which you have to imagine makes it a bad card. We are in some trouble. Is there any way that that helps us out? Maybe we do still fight 3 elites with the Lizard Tail. Maybe we like rest here and fight him, and then do the 2. And we just accept that we're losing Lizard Tail in Act 1. No, I don't think that's good enough. Maybe if I had picked the Endless Agony, I would pick a Reflex. That'd put us in kind of an interesting position. Where we, like, really want to find, like, calculated gambles and stuff. But I'm kind of glad that we're not in that position, because that's kind of a dangerous position to be in. Bane's pickable here, too. We did remove a strike, so picking a 4th offensive card is not off the table. Especially since we're in sort of a precarious situation. Also, just playing Silent makes you a little bit weak in Act 1. We have some pretty good potions, so I don't feel way behind. But Bane is quite good, and we do have poison, so I think we are going to pick it. Yeah, let's go ahead and rest here. With the extra value from Dreamcatcher. Leg Sweep seems like the clear pick. Leg Sweep's one of the sort of top-tier defensive silent tools. We talked about Endless Agony. This would be our 2nd one if we'd picked it. And that would be quite a little package. If you were going to seed farm this one, I think that's probably where you go. I think you skip the Bouncing Flask and take the 2 Sneaky Strikes, 2 Endless Agonies, and some discard stuff, and then you're off to the races. But that's not what we did, so we're going to grab the Leg Sweep. Ooh. Taking a 2nd curse is like kind of just kills the run, right? Like there's no way we survive taking 2 curses, but healing is really nice. The mushroom also makes us better at Gremlin Knob, which is something that's currently kind of scary. 3 mushrooms is pretty scary though. We don't have like dagger spray or anything. I think we should just fight him. What do you got, little mushrooms? Alright, so let's neutralize him to block some damage, and then stack up some damage on the ones buffing. We can Bane him to death next turn. I guess maybe I overcommitted damage on him, because we could have Baned him to death even without the last strike, I believe. Unfortunately, we can't single strike him to death. I guess we could Blessing of the Forge, and then strike kills him for 9 damage. We become vulnerable. These hit us for 9. This blocks for 11, right? Yeah. 11 plus 8 is 20, so we block out. Yeah, okay. I said 20 and got to 19, but same difference, I guess. Pretty clear Bouncing Flask turn. He's taking 6, then 5, so 15 for next turn, so we can kill him with just a strike. And we can put the strike on him next turn, probably. Ooh, losing Bane was something I was hoping to avoid. I guess it was a 50-50. We can just redraw it, too. Should be lethal, right? He's at 10. I guess neither of these does 10. He's at 11. So actually, we're not going to get lethal. Unless we draw neutralize. Hey, Annensbana. How's it going? I think we dagger throw and then possibly swift pot as well. Dang. Such inconvenient life totals. I guess either Bane or neutralize do it. So it's not like impossible here. That's not it. Man, Annensbana, you're just being super negative about our win rate, but in fact, we've actually done really well recently. The last 3 runs in a row we won, as well as the last 3 Ironclad runs. So maybe you should reevaluate how well we're doing. I think we are going to swift pot for an out here. It saves us like upwards of 16 health, so seems pretty valuable. Yep, we got one. Cool. Oh, I forgot about the Gremlin Horn draw. Wouldn't have actually helped us, but 5th attack? I think that's a no. We've got enough damage. Boss here is Guardian, so very weak to poison. Should be fine with just the Balancing Flask. Alright, we skip these. Alright, we should be fighting against Gremlin Knob with the Odd Mushroom. Ooh, especially with turn 1 Balancing Flask. That's super strong. We did spend our potions in the question mark floor, though, so that's not ideal. Bane is good. Bane's great. But we already have a Bane in the deck. And we have four damage cards already, so we're kind of full. Do we have a leg sweep here? Certainly blocks out this turn, makes him weak for next turn. He's probably going to be weak next turn already, because we're going to draw neutralize. He takes 8, then 7. That's 15, so he's at 50. There's no way we're doing 50 damage next turn. So we're going to have to survive 2 attacks. First one does 8. Second one usually does 24, but we have Odd Mushroom, so it's going to do less than that. It does base 16, I believe. So 16 would go up to 20. So he's going to do 28 damage to us over the 2 turns. I believe Leg Sweep is health positive in that context. So he becomes weak, and then I'm going to pull up the calculator here. Pretty early for a calculator since it's floor 8, but so 16 times 1.25 for the vulnerable times 0.75 for the weak ends up being 15. So it saves us 5 health next turn. Actually, no, sorry, it's 19 times those things, times 1.25 times 0.75, because he gets the strength, so it ends up being 17 damage next turn. So it saves us 3 health next turn, and 8 health this turn. Yeah, I think that's worth it. So it's 11 health total. We still have to do 50 damage over the next 2 turns, but I think we're probably getting there. Alright, and we're just going hard for damage here. He takes 10, then 9, so it's 19. Yeah, we might not make it. Takes 19. I'm never defending here, so I guess the math is kind of academic. We'll just see what we draw. Maybe we could have afforded to defend there instead of attacking. Although defending, like, might not even save us any health. Kunai, huh? We are not well set up to be a Kunai deck, but we can probably pivot. Man, there's a Kunai in this seed too? Gosh, there were 2 reflexes and 2 endless agonies early on. Here's a 3rd endless agony. This seed is nuts. You can do so well here. You probably just like skip the boss relic swap because it's terrible. Maybe we even take this Endless Agony. I was trying to avoid taking more damage cards, but with a Kunai, Endless Agony gets quite a bit better. We could just take a Predator, too. Not great for proccing Kunai, but it gives you more options. I always get very excited about Kunai, and sometimes get myself killed with it. But Endless Agony has to be a pick with Kunai, right? Like... Zero energy, deal 8 damage, gain a dex. It's like one of the best cards in the game. Surely. Alright. Big chest, Mummified Hand in it. Mummified Hand's super powerful. We don't have any powers yet, but we're picking them. Mummified Hand. Lizardtail will save us if we kill ourselves here. So let's see, it's 5, then 7, then 9. So we take 5, then 12, then 21. So we would die to the 9 damage. If we were like going to 1 and then taking 11, that'd be a pretty good use of Lizardtail. I will reach in here once, even though we're like super low. I think this just means we're skipping the elite. We're just fighting the elite here, basically. We could miss though. If we only reach twice to avoid proccing Lizardtail, we've only got a let's see. So the next one is 40% chance. How does this event work? Scrappoos. So it's the next one will be 35% chance. So we have a 25% chance, and then we have a 0.75 times 0.35 chance. So like a 26% chance. So like a 51% chance overall if we reach twice. Oh, it only costs 1 additional HP every time. I thought it cost 2, so it's 5, then 6, then 7. So 5 plus 6 is 11. So that would put us at 7. So we get like very little Lizardtail value. If we had 1 more hit point, I think we'd be able to reach 4 times and proc Lizardtail, taking 8 damage and overblocking for some. Maybe we just skip it. Skip it and go fight the elite. There's a really good chance we just lose the Lizardtail to like this hallway though. This question mark could heal us too. Okay, so let's reach twice and then go right. And if we miss it, we miss it. Oof, man, that hurts. Alright. Sundial? Jesus, this seed wants to go on that Endless Agony thing. Man, I played this seed so wrong. We should have 3 copies of Endless Agony, 2 Sneaky Strikes, a friggin' Sundial. Like, this seed is just bonkers. I'll take the Sundial, sure. I mean, it's probably not gonna... Yeah, Lizardtail would activate. It's whenever you die, in or out of an event. So yeah, you would still be in the event. Oh my god. You kidding me? Alright, I think the path here is Dagger Throw, Strike kills Sneaky Gremlin, Defend keeps us alive. Oh right, we have Lizardtail. Okay, so we can get a Dex and Survivor here, which is pretty good. Yeah, this, the Spire is definitely not happy with us win streaking here. It's like, you're not that good. Alright, let's play our 3 attacks. We're falling behind on Wizard here. I think we need to redirect our attacks to Wizard. I don't think we can afford to spend 8 damage on Fat Gremlin here. I think we need to make sure we're getting that little box checked. The deck scaling should prevent us from taking damage to those, hopefully. Okay, well. I don't know, man. Slay the Spire. Alright, we can kill you and kill you and block. Okay, well, we used the Lizard Tail in Act 1. No, I don't think we can take any of these. Finisher Kunai is kind of a combo. Finisher would probably be a pick if we had the 3 copies of Endless Agony. But we do not. Yeah, I think we're skipping here. We've got too many attacks in the deck. We can rest before this. We've got some pretty good upgrades coming too. Balancing Flask wants an upgrade. Bane and Poison Stab both have pretty strong upgrades. I think we're probably surviving this at 23. And we really would like to get that Balancing Flask upgraded before the boss. If we upgrade Balancing Flask and then run into Sentries, do we die? I feel like there's a pretty good chance we die. We're actually pretty good at Sentries, though, with the Kunai. Getting up to, like, 3 decks and then blocking for 8 is pretty reasonable. And super good. I think I'm going to go for it. We need to win this act a little bit stronger than we have. We're way behind. Okay, Sentries. Sure. No Kunai proc on turn 1 is pretty big deal. Kunai proc and defend for 6 survives, but not comfortably. I guess Dagger Throw into Endless Agony is super good, so let's look for that. Nope. He's at 12, so I think I want to leave him there and just kill him with 2 strikes. And because getting the artifact charge off is a pretty big deal. Going up for him so we can leg sweep him next turn. I guess that's not really necessary because leg sweep already blocks out. But okay. So we probably Poison Stab on the one whose artifact charge is already gone and leg sweep the other one. And then Endless Agony for the decks. There's an argument here that we just don't play the Endless Agonies so that we can outpopulate the Dazes, but I don't think that argument wins the fight, so. There's also an argument that we just don't hit him at all. Yes, there's absolutely no way of getting rid of the Curse of the Bow. It's not targetable in card moves or transforms. You can exhaust it with Blue Candle. It's not the same way as Necronomicon, but that only gets rid of it for the fight. How do we survive next turn but also play Balancing Flask? We don't. Wait, Bouncing Flask defend. We're gonna have 2 decks, so it'll block for 7, so we go to 1. So we have to kill him this turn. Okay. Fine. Wait, we can block with Survivor here. We don't have to play Leg Sweep. So we can, like, strike double Endless Agony on him, and then Poison Stab him, and then Survivor. Okay. Oh, right. Okay, so then Bouncing Flask Survivor. Great. Oh, yeah, just hit this guy. Oh, my God. Whoa. Okay, alright. That's amazing. Super good outcome from the Bouncing Flask. Man, Bouncing Flask just, like, tried to rescue us. I appreciate that, Bouncing Flask. So he's taking 11, then 10. So we just do 6 damage and he dies. I like that. Alright, Bouncing Flask. Now just hit this guy. Or we could Dagger Throw this one and then hope to draw a Strike so we can execute him. Or I guess we'd have to hope to draw a Neutralize. No, that's a bad idea. Okay. Just hit the front one. Come on, Bouncing Flask. You're a hero. You're a hero already. I forgive you if you don't only hit the front one. But if you hit the front one, I appreciate it. Alright, you know what? Bouncing Flask has a plan, and it's poison this guy. So you gotta respect the Bouncing Flask there. It's living its own life. Alright, well we survive. So let's get some damage and survive. Hard to complain about surviving in this fight. This is we very nearly did not. Alright, going to 1. Paper Crane's a huge pickup. Malaise? Paper Crane Malaise. Also, second Reflex for the hypothetical discard build is just absolutely nuts. That build is so much better than the build we're actually doing. Accuracy could be a pick for Mummified Hand. We do have Kunai, so getting some shivs is not a terrible idea, but Malaise is way good here, so we're probably picking Malaise. Okay, I think we're resting, unless we just want to plan on perfecting the boss, which is on the table. Could definitely happen, with the Malaise especially. Get a big Malaise off, and his Whirlwind doesn't do anything. A couple of Bouncing Flasks, and he transforms. I think the problem we would have is that he would... The 16 damage turn would end up hitting us and killing us, so... I don't think it's worth the risk. Just trying to survive here. Backflip seems nice. Maybe escape plan? I think we're just going to go for the backflip. Okay. We're a deck scaling deck, so backflips theoretically win us the run eventually. Don't need a Leg Sweep. I guess there was an argument to leave one of the Endless Agonies. We could have gotten a Kunai proc without it. But we don't really want a ton of attacks in this fight, so... Do we die? We block for 15. That dies. I guess blocking for 15 and then malaising for 1 survives. Strike Bane doesn't split him. So yeah, we have to survive. So the only way is Strike, Defend, Malaise. I guess we could Malaise for 2 maybe. Survivor Malaise I think probably survives. What does Survivor Malaise do? So, he goes down to 34 and then gets weakened for 60% damage, so he does 20 damage. And we block 9, so we take 11. Go to 9. Not a great start, but malaising for 1 also feels really bad. If we malaise him for 2 on his 5 damage attack, it's a 3 damage, so 3 times 0.6 is just 1. It's pretty important rounding. On the 16 damage attack, 8 times 0.6 becomes 4. Or, sorry, it's 6 times 0.6, which is going to be 3 because it's 3.6. Yeah, I think we malaise him for 2. We're gonna split him with the poison stab, so let's neutralize first. Oh wait, I guess I did my math wrong, but this is still a great split. Okay. Or it's an okay split. Alright. Bouncing flask is big. Would we rather backflip now or defend now? I think defend now, because if we draw a bouncing flask, we don't want to skip it. Oh, we actually wouldn't have skipped it. If we'd drawn it, we would have been able to play it with Sundial. I didn't think about that. We don't die here. I think we need all of our health, so... no attacks. Yeah, we actually would have died if we'd attacked, I guess. I didn't realize. Sitting for 12. If we weaken him, he hits for... he just hit for 4, right? That's what the math said. 3 times 0.6, yeah, it's like 1.8. Yep. So we'd hit for 1 if we weaken him. Which is kind of silly. We could dagger throw into a neutralize. And then we'd get to kunai proc. So let's look for that. Oh, we did. Oh wait, we need the defend now. Yeah, it's defend over backflip. Seems like we have a shot here if we play this perfectly. I think we're maximizing poison here instead of Bane. Bane is more damage this turn, but poison gives us easier splits in the future. Both split, obviously. Alright, and I think that's the fight. Tempting fate there, saying that's the fight, and then getting attacked, but... Alright. Well, that was scary. Very difficult Act 1. Just had nothing but trouble from the bell on. Really bad calling bell. Lots of highs and lows. Very dramatic Act 1. Wraith Form, Corpse Explosion, and Envenom. There's an argument for each of these. The argument for Envenom is that we have kunai, so we might end up playing a bunch of little attacks, which with Envenom is pretty effective at killing people. Envenom needs an upgrade really badly, so... no, Jizzo, that's not quite true. It does matter. Each marginal health point does... or can increase your health next act. We don't heal to full anymore. When does that start happening? Heal less after boss battles is Ascension 5. So if we survived at 50, then we'd start the next act at higher health. But it's, you are correct, right? The last hit point is the most important one. If you were talking about the heart when you said the boss, then you are correct. 1 health is all you need. So Envenom does combo with Mummified Hand. It needs an upgrade really badly, which is a bit of a problem because there's some other cards in the deck that want an upgrade. Malaise, actually not that many. I guess just Malaise is the most upgrade hungry here. Corpse Explosion is super nice for AoE stuff. We have a Gremlin Horn, so we kind of already have an AoE fight plan, where we like kill one of them and then get energy and then use that energy to kill the other ones. So we don't really need a Corpse Explosion. We also have like a bunch of poison already, so we don't need like a gigantic poison card for 2. It's like fighting for a slot with Bouncing Flask, and Bouncing Flask is already in the deck. So I think Corpse Explosion is probably a no. It's probably better than Skip, but I think it's worse than both of the other options. Wraith Form also procs Mummified Hand. Wraithform, I think, is the presumptive pick, right? If you're just making a tier list, and like Burnface in chat made a good point about tier lists, which is like you shouldn't make them because every decision is super context sensitive. But Wraithform's an amazing card, so probably going to be the Wraithform. Wraithform Kunai decks are always a bit interesting because it's like, are we losing decks or gaining it? And like, do we like, yeah, sort of interesting to have multiple different defensive plans. But I think that's kind of just the way Silent works sometimes. Is like you have like we've got a Malaise is a totally different defensive plan, a leg sweep and a paper crane. So we've got like a bunch of different ways to block here. But that's what you want. Because different fights have different sort of threat profiles, so if you have lots of different ways of blocking, you're more likely to be able to block every fight. So I think we're going to take the Wraithform. Super strong card, so. Snecko Eye. We have a Malaise, a Bouncing Flask, and a Wraithform. All big Snecko Eye cards. The Endless Agony is terrible with it. Maybe we did pick the right line. Maybe the Endless Agony build isn't as good as the Snecko Eye build. If we were pathing through this this seed. Sacred Bark is way worse than Snecko Eye, especially since we don't have any White Beast statues or anything. Runic Dome's an option, I guess. Runic Dome makes it very hard to play Wraithform, so I think we're probably not picking that over Snecko Eye. The Wraithform makes me think that I want to pick a Well-Laid Plans or a Runic Pyramid at some point. And Well-Laid Plans is even stronger with Snecko Eye. Also, just Mummified Hand is really strong with Snecko Eye. So I think we're picking Snecko Eye. Can make it hard to get Kunai procs, but it can also just give you like free Kunai procs. So I actually don't know how this works with Endless Agony. Does the copy always cost 0? Do both cards have a randomized cost? Do they both have the same randomized cost? Not really sure. I don't know if I've ever had an Endless Agony Snecko Eye deck. When you draw a card, randomize its cost. And this says, whenever you draw this card. So it's not really clear that there's an ordering there. Yeah, that's true. Runic Pyramid and Snecko is terrifying. I just meant that Wraithform wants to have a way to stay in hand. Yeah, I would never pick, or I haven't ever picked Snecko Eye and Runic Pyramid together because I have fear. But I'm definitely going to pick Snecko Eye here. Also, hi B, how's it going? Hyper Beam guy. Bit of a challenge for Poison Silent. It's the first enemy that you usually encounter that has like several artifact charges. So we're gonna have to work our way through those. We've got a pretty good start. Neutralize and leg sweep. We might pick more weak with Malaise as well because we have the paper crane. Got a pretty good chunk of it now. Maybe just upgrading the neutralizes is enough. 236 because we went to a shop in Act 1. Pretty excited about question marks. Bites would be good. We were like struggling to keep our health up, so I think we'd be pretty happy to see bites, even if it does increase the deck size by 1. Apparitions, obviously, super good cards, especially with the Wraithform. Gives us a lot of time to sort of be intangible while our opponents are poisoned to death, which is sort of a big chunk of Silent gameplay. So we could optimize for question marks with this route or this route. Those both get 3 before the first elites and fires. I need a name for this first like tranche of nodes, because there's always 5 nodes. The first one's always a fight, so there's kind of a fight, and then there's 4 nodes, and then you start getting into fires and elites at the 5th node. So it's like, this is like phase 1 of the act, and then like, then there's like a phase 2 that like goes from floor 5 to like the chest, I guess. And then there's like from the chest to the end, it's like phase 3. At least that's the way I think about pathing, because like in Act 1, it's like super important that you hit like your 3 fights and then your first elite, right? And those first 3 fights are sort of like phase 1 of Act 1. And then the like elites are phase 2. It gets a little bit messier after phase 1 is over. It's kind of just like phase 1 and then the rest, but I think maybe it's useful to think about it as a chunk here for phase 2. It certainly looks like it on this map because it's like all elites in this little chunk. But maybe that's just an illusion because of this map. We could go to 3 shops. We don't have a... Like, if we had like a membership card and a... whatchamacallit? Meal ticket, we could consider that. Courier. Even then, going to 3 shops is a lot. Okay, so we want to take one of these 3 question mark routes, and then what are we doing from there? I like this fire elite fire thing. We are taking a lot of damage from hallway fights as we just switched to Snecko Eye, so we can be in quite a bit of danger here. Right after you pick Snecko Eye is one of the most dangerous moments in any run, although we had a super dangerous Act 1, so maybe that's not true for this one. Maybe we've already had our max danger. If we fight this guy, we have no options for non-Mega Elites for the rest of the act, although this is a late act Mega Elite, which makes it a little bit more survivable. It's also Act 2, so Mega Elites are kind of an option. We are pretty good at Elites here because of the Malaise. If we can get an upgrade on the Malaise, we feel pretty confident about Book of Stabbing and Gremlin Leader. We don't quite have the same level of solution for Slavers. I think we're mainly just hoping that Bouncing Flask hits one of them, and then he dies, and we can Gremlin Horn to Snowball. I do think we're going to want to hit a fire before the Elite, so we're not going to start with this guy, for example. If we go this way, go to the fire, and then like maybe the shop and this Elite gets us an extra fire. Looks like we're just doing 1 elite in the act, probably, unless we like feel inspired to go fight a Mega later. Because I don't think we're doing this path, and that's the only way to get 2 elites that isn't a Mega, because they're all right here. So maybe we just go for the extra fire. If we're only getting 1 elite, there's 2 extra fires on this path, and that seems pretty good. All the paths have at least 1 fire, but... I guess this path has 2 fires, and this path has 3, so it's not like 2 extra, it's 1 extra. This path gets 4 question marks total with this one and the starting 3. This path gets these 3, and then... yeah, it also gets 4. So we're just getting 1 extra fire by going left. That's pretty persuasive. Okay. First Snecko Eye turn. Both of our defense cost 3. Thanks, Snecko. I guess I'll play a 1-mana Bouncing Flask and see where that's going. This guy. We can neutralize one, malaise the other. That gets them both weakened. And one of them gets strength down. That seems reasonable. Get the damage from neutralize on the already damaged target so we can execute him in short order. Big Soup costs 3, Backflip costs 3, Defends are also expensive. I guess the Survivor's cheap here. I guess we'll Dagger Throw to look for cheaper stuff. A 0 cost Wraith Form. My goodness, okay. Play the Wraith Form? Okay. So we're safe in this fight, because they can't attack 3 more times. But we still need to find out how to kill them. We also don't know... I guess they both chose to attack, so this is the big attack turn. Although it's a little bit hard to tell. He's taking 7 and then 6 and then 5, which is 18. So we need to do 6 more damage to him to kill him. There you go. I guess that assumes... Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because maybe we're going to redraw Bouncing Flask, but whatever. This guy's actually going to run out of poison, unless we poison stab him, so we definitely have to poison stab him in case we draw Bane. I mean, we're just stacking all the damage on him and blocking, right? So let's see if we can get there. Looks like we can. Okay. We took like 12 in that fight. Whoa. Backflip plus and dagger throw plus. Backflip plus is pretty huge. With a Snecko Eye deck, card draw is super good. Because you get more, you might have not very many options, so getting more options is, helps mitigate the downside. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with second backflip. Alright, show me some apparitions. We're gonna upgrade Shrine. Almost certainly going on Wraith form. Malaise is also fighting for it. Neutralize is pretty good in the presence of Paper Crane. Yeah, I think those are definitely the top three. It seems like Wraith form's kind of on its own, and then like Malaise and Neutralize are fighting for second place. Let's get the Wraith form upgraded. Super, super good upgrade, so. Birds, huh? Again, we can Wraith form for 0 on turn 1. It's a little bit scary. Hopefully we can like backflip into a 0 cost Bouncing Flask. 0 cost leg sweep means we can just block out this turn without needing to do anything fancy. We get to do 2 strikes or Bane or Neutralize. If Neutralize was upgraded, we'd play that, but it's not, so we'll play 2 strikes. Shoot, I should have put the damage on the stronger bird. In fact, I think I'm going to. I went for the one with the low health, but that's not the reason you pick a target in this fight. You pick the strong ones. So do we still leg sweep him? Yes, we do. Okay. Alright. Poison is good in this fight. Maybe I should have gotten a Dex proc before backflipping. But I like seeing the randomized costs more than I like 1 health. Okay. He's probably eventually dead to the poison. I guess not. No, because it's, what is it? Is it 6 times 7 divided by 2, or 6 times 5 divided by 2? One of the numbers is 6. So it ends up being 7 times 3 is 21, which is 6 times what over 2? 7, right? 6 times 7 is 42. So 6 times 7 over 2 is the answer. So it's poison plus 1 divided by 2. Poison times poison plus 1 over 2 is the total damage. Okay, anyway, so it's 21 damage, so he needs 6 more damage to die. And we need to wait for a long time. We figured out the Endless Agony Snecko interaction. The copy of the card is a copy of the base card, so it costs 0. Yeah, that's true. We did see that. Thanks for paying attention to that, Captain Grimm. I like brought it up and then it ignored it. Although technically, both of these could have randomized costs, and this one could just be randomized to 0. So that we can't rule that out yet, but probably not what's happening. We could draw a Malaise with Dagger Throw. We'd have to Malaise for 0, so we probably don't want to do that. But we can't, like, I guess we just play the 0 cost Endless Agony and then both defends. Yeah, we need block, so. Taking 6 here. Ouch. We can activate our Red Skull at half health. We could just Malaise him for 3. And like double strike on somebody. Double strike makes him dead with the poison. Yeah, okay. And Malaise him for 3 basically removes him as a threat. He's gonna have to buff a lot before he's even back to doing damage. Bane does 6 damage, so we can execute him now. And we've got enough block for after that, sure. I guess, yeah, actually, so they both do get randomized, because this one is a copy of that one, right? And its costs 1. So that is surprising. That's, I would say that's the least expected interaction. I don't know how that's a possible reading of the way those interact. It says add a copy of it to your hand. It must not mean add a copy. It means create a copy and then draw that copy. Which is very odd. So that's how Endless Agony works, I guess. We might draw a zero cost thing with either backflip or dagger throw. We're pretty much always doing this, so I'll just start with that. We didn't... Oh wait, we haven't yet, I guess. No, we didn't. Alright. Gremlin Horn's kind of awkward on silent, because you end up getting a lot of kills with poison, and then those kills like don't happen during your turn. Which sucks. Leg sweep blocks out for the turn. Let's extend the weak on this guy because he's a bigger threat. And press end turn. Can I get a bouncing flask? No. Yeah, the way the animation works, it looks like it's a copy that's being created in your hand, but we got all 4 costs this turn, so it's definitely not what's happening. I kind of want to play backflip and hope to draw 0 cost stuff. I guess we can play... No, I was hoping we could play 3 Endless Agonies and then a defend, but we can't. We could play Endless Agony, attack pot defend to get an extra dex. I guess actually we can play triple Endless Agony, attack pot to knock him down. We have to get rid of these Endless Agonies too, or else we're just going to have a handful of Endless Agonies every time. Endless Agony Snecko Eye is not good, is what we're learning here. I think I'll just go with the single Endless Agony backflip and hope for 0 cost stuff line. It's not amazing. Okay. Alright. Bouncing Flask is always happening. He gets to buff back to 0 strength. Okay. Extend the weak on him a little bit. He's probably dead next turn. Wraith Form does nothing. Leg sweep blocks out, straight guarantees lethal next turn. I guess this is lethal now. Whatever. Okay. Not a great bird fight for us, but it went okay, I would say. Is Blur a pick? Blur seems pretty nice. Couple of backflips, dex scaling, leg sweep. It's also just like a good heart card. Build up the block on the non-attack turn. It's uncommon, which matters in the automaton fight. Could protect the bouncing flask, which is pretty important. We currently have 3 uncommons. So if we draw one of them, then the automatons will take the other 2. Assuming we draw both rares for some reason. I don't know. I think we shouldn't over-optimize for blur blocking for bouncing flask in the automaton fight. It's pretty unlikely to happen. Mostly we have to optimize for, do we want to blur in the deck? And I think the answer to that is still yes. It'll be our 4th block card. I almost said defensive tool, but Wraithform and Malaise are also defensive tools. Pretty comfortable with 4 block cards. Alright. First hard pool fight of Act 2. I would love to just Malaise for 3, but Seems like that would be irresponsible. Do we ever just Wraith form now? It seems like we're in big trouble here. This is a really bad start to the fight. They're both attacking. We can't get a kunai proc, we can't block. I mean, I guess we can get a kunai proc, but we can't get a kunai proc and block. Unless Dagger Throw draws us something that costs 0. I guess we can, like... Gosh. It'd be really nice if there was any block cards in the hand that weren't Survivor. It's like, we just picked a blur, basically just to have more defensive cards. We still just only drew 1. Yeah, we probably are going to attack pot here. I just, I wish that the reason we were attack potting was more clear. I guess attack pot could get dash. That'd be pretty good. Alright, let's see what's in the attack pot. Finisher. Do we ever get lethal this turn? Unloads here too. What's the biggest finisher we can do? Assuming we draw a 0-cost attack with Dagger Throw, we play 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this hits for 24. There's no way that's going to be lethal. I guess we take the unload then. Well, wait, what about with Strength Pot? So we play 4 attacks, and then Finisher does 32. It's not way off. It's probably not happening. We're also probably not drawing a 0-cost attack with Dagger Throw. Seems like Finisher's the pick either way, though. Alright, I think we're pretty committed to the Dagger Throw. It does mean we're not playing Survivor, but... Survivor costs 3, and that's too much. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna Wraith form. Try and end the fight real quick. Is there a reason for Endless Agony over Bane? I guess Bane is better. It does more damage right now, and redrawing Endless Agony is fine if we're trying to end the fight really quick. We don't want to draw Malaise, since we're trying to end the fight really quick. Well, that's not very helpful for ending the fight. We are in serious trouble here. Hey, Wazbek. Alright, she's healing again. I guess we get him, huh? Cool. Alright, she's attacking. We can Bane her for quite a bit of damage, but that's all of our energy. Neutralize blocks. Yeah, we can like neutralize Endless Agony. Blocks a little bit, does some damage. Gets a kunai proc. Our positive fighting with our positive decks fighting with our negative decks here. Back to 0. Yeah, that would be good. Seems like Poison Stab is the only important thing to do this turn. Zero-cost Finisher is nice. Bane's always happening. We have 5 energy, so it's probably like Bouncing Flask, Strike, Dagger Throw, Finisher. Is that lethal? This puts her up to 14 poison. Yeah, it certainly is lethal. Alright. Not the way that we're usually winning fights, but I guess we got there. Pretty scary to play a Wraith form on turn 1. Predator is crazy with Snecko Eye. I think we probably pick that. Sure. Just good card. Man, no bites, no apparitions, no favorable events of any kind. We can stack up a bunch of defend and then blur this turn, which is nice. I guess Survivor blocks for more than defend. Man, the first time we hold over block with blur, it's 23 block. That's a lot. Zero cost Predator seems good. Probably gonna malaise for 1 just for the artifact charges on Spheric Guardian. We gotta get rid of those so we can kill him with poison. I kind of want to get a Kunai proc too, though. Because if we malaise for 0, it doesn't remove charges. Yeah, I think the charges are more important. We have Bouncing Flask coming up. Need that to win us the fight. Here's the Bouncing Flask. Dagger Throw costs 0, that's neat. We can, like, Endless Agony Dagger Throw, double Endless Agony Dagger Throw, Century to Death. Cause a shuffle. Leg Sweep's not going to be quite enough block, but it does remove the last artifact charge. Alright, I think we're taking some damage. Oh wait, we should shuffle Leg Sweep. I guess I'll play a Blur, sure. Oh, we got a... It's Blur against Bouncing Flask, though. Bouncing Flask gets a kill next turn. So we're saving 4 health versus taking guaranteed lethal. He puts us to 8, though, this turn if we don't block. Swiftpot has some expected value for health. We're gonna probably rest after this. I'll just take the guaranteed lethal. Yeah, we would have drawn a defend in a 3-cost defend in a daze, so it wouldn't have been worth it. Or 2 dazes, rather. Choke Plus kind of goes with Kunai, but not with the rest of the deck. Alright, I think we're skipping. We do have deck scaling, and dodge and roll is good with that. But we've got quite a few defensive tools now with the 2 backflips, Blur, Wraith Form, Leg Sweep. Okay, let's get our health up and try and fight an elite. Acrobatics can be good with Snecko Eye. I'd be more comfortable if we had 4 energy. Definitely not taking Quick Slash or Poison Stab, though. Acrobatics, we do have a Sundial. So, card draw is pretty good. Got a Predator and 2 backflips, our main card draw right now. Dagger Throws there, too. I think Predator and 2 backflips is quite a bit. We don't really need Acrobatics. Alright. Gonna need a big malaise here. We have a turn 1 malaise for 3 that's an option. Kind of a painful option, because we get punched pretty hard. 40% of 20 is a well-defined number. Oh wait, it's 21. Alright, 40% of 21 is what? 21 times 0.6 is 12. So take 12 damage to do a big malaise? Yeah, sure. Let's get rid of the Endless Agonies too. Those are bad. Two times 3, so cute. Baby's first stab. Oh wait, we have a thing for this. We've disarmed the book. Now he's just a book. We have mostly blocked out. I guess this blocks out. We could like Survivor Blur over Bane. Bane is not getting a kunai proc. Kind of like Survivor Blur, just in case the next turn is a big attack turn and we don't draw any damage for some, or draw any block. Ho, 0 cost Predator. Get on in here. It was a big attack. Convenient. Both of these extend weak. I guess this one does some damage. He's only at 2 weak though. That might wear off. I guess this makes him at 3 weak. 3 is pretty unlikely to wear off. I imagine Bouncing Flask Wraith form is lethal. Puts him up to plus 12, so it goes up to 27 poison. 27 times 28 over 2 is 27 times 13. That is like hundreds. I guess it's how much damage he's doing over the next 4 turns. So it's 27 plus 26 plus 25 plus 24, which is 25.5 times 4, or let's see, 41. No, 51 times 2. So yeah, it's plenty. Plus we've got that neat Bane. It'd be nice to shuffle again in this fight if we possibly can, to set up Sundial. Probably can't, but it's nice to dream. Okay. A blue candle is our reward. Blade Dance kind of goes with Kunai. If we had like a Dead Branch, I'd take a Blade Dance, but I think in the absence, probably not. Prepared is terrible with Snecko Eye. Poison Stab Plus is a card. It says plus on it. I don't think we're that interested. The shifts are 0 costs, for sure. Unless you discard them and redraw them. And then they're random. I think we're no on Blade Dance. It's kind of nice. When you upgrade Blade Dance, it's a kunai proc all by itself. So would I play like 2 energy for get a dex do 12 damage? It's like a worse dash. Hey Guitar. Good morning. Oh right, the book cover's still up. Oops. We disarmed the Book of Stabbing, so we had a background for him. I don't know. If it was Blade Dance Plus, I think I'd pick it. Maybe? I don't know. I still don't know if that's correct, but it is nice to proc kunai. We're pretty short on kunai procking stuff. We're like just hoping that Dagger Throw neutralize, Poison Stab and Bane show up enough. Like Endless Agony is really irritating. We'll probably remove Endless Agony over a Strike because it's like really bad. I think I will take a Blade Dance. I think it's putting us over the edge a little bit. for the kunai. I think we rest here, smith here. Is that right? No, actually, it's wrong. We want to smith here, rest here, because we could get a like gira, peace pipe, shovel. So we want to. Well, wait a minute. No, that means we need to rest here and then potentially do something else here. So we rest here and then potentially upgrade here. Does Bane count as 2 attack to proc kunai? It does not, no. Also known as Ragnarok Plus does not proc kunai twice by itself. Second Blade Dance? I picked the first one. Huh. There's a weird phenomena in deck building games where sometimes they ask the question like, how much of this card do you want? And for me, like Slay the Spire has a really interesting format because in a lot of deck building games, or at least like traditional like Magic drafting, you like build the whole deck and then you play it for the first time, and then you're like, that was stupid. This deck is terrible. I need to play those other cards that I picked, right? But in Slay the Spire, you like pick a card, play the deck, pick a card, play the deck, pick a card, play the deck. So that lets you like, when you pick a card, you can play it, and then once you play it, you're like, oh no, that was not a good idea, or like, oh man, that one's really good. I should pick more stuff that helps that. So it's interesting when you sort of get two of a card being offered in a row. It's like, I picked the first one. How many do I want? Because I'm being offered a second one now. Yes, so we got the 3 relics off of it. They were terrible. We had a really tough time in Act 1 because Dreamcatcher and Lizardtail do nothing in fights. And Gremlin Horn doesn't do anything in like the important fights like Gremlin Knob. Or boss fights. So we had a really tough Act 1. We actually used our Lizardtail in Act 1. The game really tried to kill us in Act 1. Dash is also fine. That's a really good point, because Dash, like, it sort of sets up kunai and pays it off. Costs less than it normally costs, thanks to Snecko Eye. It's an attack that's also a defensive tool, which is really great for kunai, because we want to play 3 attacks, but we also want to block out, which is pretty difficult with 3 energy. Yeah, I think Dash is super good, right? I think, yeah. I was thinking, I got in my own head about the Blade Dance, and I didn't realize that Dash is like miles better, right? So let's take the Dash. I'm still interested about the Blade Dance, but like, the Dash is way better. Mob Bank or Key. We're not going to a shop anytime soon, so Mob Bank probably pays off. We do already have a bit of money, so I'm not like super excited to have lots more money. The problem with Mob Bank is like, we're not fighting our Mega Elite in this act, so our Act 3 pathing is going to be potentially kind of constrained. And that pathing might have like, it might have an early shop on it, it might have 4 shops on it, right? Like, Dash is better than Wallop, change my mind. Divinity? Oh, wait. Mint, you can't say change my mind and then also have a Kappa. It's like, which opinion do you even hold anymore? Like, what are you even talking about? Why do you hate America? I mean, I guess it's gonna get us at least like 60 gold, right? So that's pretty good. Actually, the minimum is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we could be forced into a shop on the 2nd floor. So 8 is the minimum. That's quite a bit of gold. That's 96 gold. All right, 96 gold. I think is better than a Sapphire Key. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's not true, because that just lets me pay 96 gold for a relic in random relic in Act 3. Maybe I'd be willing to pay 96 gold for a random Act 3 relic. But it's probably more. It's probably like 150 or something. At least. I want to upgrade the Blade Dance. Malaise is really good, but the thing that Malaise is best at is like Book of Stabbing and Gremlin Leader, and that's not happening anymore. Um, but it is still a really good upgrade. Other possible upgrades, neutralize. I think that's kind of it. Just like neutralize, malaise, and blade dance are the 3 that want an upgrade now. Nothing show-stopping. Maybe we rest here? No, we don't rest, because if this is like apparitions or bites, we don't want to have that much health. I think I'm just going to give it to Blade Dance. Blade Dance Plus is so much better than Blade Dance. And, like, Malaise doesn't really do that much against Guardian. Or Automaton, or whatever the fuck he's called. Alright. Blade Dance. Alright, well, we're already confused, so we don't care about Snecko's confusion. That's fine. I'll take my free Kunai proc, please. We almost got 2 Kunai procs the first time we played Blade Dance. Almost. It's kind of weird that you can't get confused twice. I'm not sure what it would do, but it just doesn't even do anything. Predator's getting played. We might Malaise for 1 here. Might like Endless Agony, Predator, Survivor Malaise. To block some damage. Seems reasonable. Yeah, there's actually a bunch of powers you can't get twice. Barricade. I say a bunch, but there might only be like 4 or something. But, like, you can get Deva Form twice, right? Like, you do some crazy stuff with that. Sure. It's like leg sweep defend is probably the rest of the turn. Oh, wait. Dash defend. Look at that. Doing some extra damage. Although, leg sweep would have applied weak, so maybe that would have been better. Maybe I should at least think about playing the Curse of the Bell next time I see it. I believe he's dead after Wraith Form. I will take your 1 damage, Snecko friend. Hey, Sir Animal. Doing good. How's it going? Ooh, I like double confusion unrandomizing your costs. That's spicy. Hey, Savage Nymph. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Cloak and Dagger's a no. Expertise is a no, so it's Quick Slash. Yeah, these are all bad. Okay. 1 last chance at bites, apparitions, or agent writing? No. Rejected. Double Core Surge, Bioscog, Echo, Form, and Defrag on the last draw in a 25 card deck. Wow. That's brutal. Those are some really good cards to be in the last hand. Dang. I'm sorry that happened to you, B-Mud. I'm doing pretty good. We had like a crazy win streak going. We won the last 3 runs, and my last 3 Ironclad runs. So we've been doing really well on stream recently. Although the Spire is definitely trying to kill this silent. Calling Bell start into nothing, and then really challenging Act 1. We were a little bit getting online here, but we're still not feeling super safe. Strength doesn't do much for us. So I think Jaxed and Mutagens are kind of out. I think we're just going to transform a couple strikes. This could put us in a position where it's a little bit more difficult to proc Kunai, but we might get attacks back, so who knows. A Reflex and a Bouncing Flask. Well, Reflex is quite bad. Bouncing Flask is okay. We got more damage out than we put in, so I guess the Reflex is just nothing. Fine. Ooh, a free Kunai proc. Wow, we're getting 2 Kunai procs this turn? I think we are. Oh wait, we should We should dash first. Wait, I don't want to dash first because I want to get the armor on the dash. I guess Bane Strike does 13. But Dash Strike gets through the plated... Alright, I will start with Dash Strike. And I think we're going to skip Bane for Leg Sweep instead. Even though that is skipping an extra kunai proc. Maybe we should get an extra kunai proc. What are you talking about? I mean... Yeah, kunai? I don't know. Hard to answer that question without a little bit more context. Leg Sweep blocks out, I believe. This doesn't seem like the right turn to spend a potion. We're not really in any danger. You lost a Snecko Ironclad because you misclicked and played a 3-cost defend instead of a 0-cost demon form. Do you know how to restart runs, JSE? Because whenever I do a misclick, I'll just restart the fight. Because all the random stuff that happened will happen the same way. So if you're able to remember what you did, you can get back to exactly the same spot. It's like Control Z, but with a lot of extra steps. Leg Sweep versus Bane Defense Survivor. Unfortunately, you cannot restart. Or actually, you can, as long as you don't leave the floor. Even if you click on a relic, if you exit the run and come back in, you can restart the reward screen. Bane Defense Survivor does block out, but we have Paper Crane, so having weak next turn is really valuable. So both options block out. It's just it's a kunai proc versus weak next turn. I see. Wait, why didn't you just play the 0-cost demon form after that? Did you have like a choker on or something? Oh, just because the 3-cost defend probably effed up your turn. I think the weak is more valuable, surprisingly. I would like to Wraith Form and Bouncing Flask. It's possible that could happen. Mummified Hand could decide to take pity on me. We could just like Wraith Form Predator, a big turn next turn. I feel like if we're not playing Bouncing Flask, we maybe aren't getting enough damage to Wraith Form safely. We're only taking 8 plus 6 is 14 damage this turn. We can only block for 4. Yeah, I think we'll Wraith Form. Yeah, that gives us a 0-cost dagger throw. We'll Predator first. To get through the armor. Do we play the Curse? How likely are we to shuffle? I would say pretty likely. But I'm still not going to play it. Okay. Well, we can safely play the Bouncing Flask here, but it's not a very exciting turn. We could just Malaise for 3. I think we need to get damage in. We're already ticking down our decks here. Yeah, Snecko giveth and Snecko taketh away, that's for sure. Oh, well that's not what I wanted. Crap. I kind of don't want to redraw Malaise, so I'm just going to exhaust it. We need to get damage. And soon. Oh my god, Dagger Thrower will end up with Reflex. He dies next turn if we do nothing, so let's do nothing. That seems fine. We might actually get a stun here. He's only got 4 plated armor left. Alright, Bouncing Flask, you got this. Yeah! Yeah! Get him, Bouncing Flask! Alright. Bouncing Flask is such a bro sometimes. Way to go, Bouncing Flask. Do we ever take a Concentrate here? Sneaky Strike is a no, so is Thousand Cuts. Being a 3 energy Snecko Eye deck is always kind of rough. We are almost to the next boss, though, so we could be a 4 energy deck soon. Wouldn't be for a good doctor. I feel like the first do no harm mandate from the Hippocratic Oath is somewhat in conflict with murdering your opponents. I think no Concentrate. It's just, it ends up costing 2 and 3 too much, yeah. We're not that desperate for energy. These guys again. I already fought these guys. They like almost killed me last time. No way. You guys have like 1,000 cuts? That's crazy. This deck doesn't do any 1,000 cut stuff. Like we have like a Blade Dance, that's it. Like we have Momify Dance, sure, but like I'd rather have like a good card in my hand than like a 1,000 cuts. Neutralize is always getting played. Oh, I should have played Neutralize on the Mystic, because I'm probably going to Malaise Centurion for one. I'm restarting to read that. Neutralize the Mystic, and then backflip. Alright. Well, that's not a great turn. Only taking 7 though, so I'll keep the potion. This is scary. Can we get a 0-cost attack? No. This fight can go pretty long, so I think I'm going to play the Curse of the Bell. We didn't quite get there. We have to do 21 damage to make her heal, so we didn't do enough damage there. I want to play the Blade Dance, but it's too expensive, so I think we're just going to Poison Stab and Bouncing Flask. Yes, Bouncing Flask. Get in there. Okay. Need to block for 17 this turn if we can. 0 Kunai procs so far. Snecko has not been kind. Really awkward turn. We could get a Kunai proc. No, we actually can't. The cheapest Kunai proc is 6. We have 5. I just assumed because we had extra energy we'd be able to get at least a Kunai proc, but nope. Can't do it. Alright, so it's probably like Bouncing Flask, Bane, Predator, Defense Survivor. We might end up accidentally killing Mystic first here, which would be pretty bad. Take 4. Ouch. Dagger Throw, what's going on? That's always happening. I think it's time to Wraith form. They're pretty poisoned up, so we should be pretty safe. Dash kills Centurion, seems good. Get Dex. I like it. Is that lethal? Looks lethal. Okay. Well, this fight went better than the last Centurion Mystic fight. Still didn't go great. I took a third Bouncing Flask. What's my limit for Bouncing Flasks? In a deck with no other significant source of poison? I think it might be like 4. In a Snecko-Eye deck with no other poison. Well, if we're below the limit, we should take more, right? Bouncing Flask, I think, is currently like among the best cards in the deck, right? It's like Wraith Form Bouncing Flask is basically the deck. Alright. I think we need to rest here to survive the fight, as much as I would like to upgrade one of the 2 new Bouncing Flasks. Hey, YTI. So, let's go ahead and rest. Afterimage, Setup, or Deadly Poison. Unfortunately, Setup is terrible with Snecko-Eye. Deadly Poison is just a worse Bouncing Flask. And Afterimage is another way to block, but I don't think we play enough cards to really support it. It's nice with Blade Dance, but that's about it. We do have the Mummified Hand, though. People always... Excuse me. People always say that the Afterimage is good against the heart, but it actually isn't. It's like, it's a card-efficient way of blocking, but there are lots of card-efficient ways of blocking. Wraith Form is way more card-efficient. Leg Sweep is super card-efficient. Like, Afterimage just doesn't do very much. And I get it, like, people want to play it, like, if I play 3 copies of Afterimage, it's like, the Beat of the Heart doesn't exist, but, like, the Beat of the Heart still does exist. You just, like, your deck that plays a lot of cards doesn't get murdered by it anymore. But this isn't really a deck that plays lots of cards, so it's kind of just like any other block cards. But it is very card efficient, so that's like the Beat of the Heart is measuring your card efficiency basically. So the fact that Afterimage is card efficient is good, but there's lots of other card efficient cards too. There's nothing special about Afterimage, but it's still worth picking. All right. 2 Bouncing Flasks here. So, Sir Artemol, by that do you mean that Afterimage blocks all the beat damage in the presence of Wraith Form? 'Cause that's true. I think we just Bouncing Flask plus. We've got Afterimage in hand, but getting those artifact charges off is really nice. It's like our whole way of winning, so... it does kind of suck to just like do 3 poison, and that's it on the first turn of a boss fight, but the artifact charges are pretty huge. Would have liked to malaise him for 1. That's a really efficient way to remove artifact charges. Also, it's too bad that we've got both Bouncing Flasks. We could Afterimage and just hope it hits a Bouncing Flask. It's not that unlikely. There's only 5 hittable targets, so it's like a 40% chance of hitting a Bouncing Flask. And we're definitely going to play Curse of the Bell in this fight. Predator was a good idea, too. I like Predator. We're going to need to build up some decks here, so we probably want to play Blade Dance. It's probably just like Blade Dance Backflip. I guess it's Backflip first. Seer Cross Wraith Form. Interesting. What are these guys going to take? One of them's going to take Malaise. The first one will take Malaise, so we want to target the first one. Oh, wait, actually... Malaise isn't really good anymore, because it's not really that effective against Automaton. I guess it makes the Flail, which is the 8x 2 attack, it makes the Flails do much less, which is nice. So the first one takes Malaise, the second one could take the Bouncing Flask, also Blur or Endless Agony. It might happen, the thing that I talked about when I picked Blur. Picked it, like, mostly because it's a block card, but partially because it was an uncommon and can block for Bouncing Flask. The deck has changed significantly since then. We have 3 Bouncing Flasks now, but it still might happen. Alright, we want to Shiv this one, because he might have Bouncing Flask. And no Wraith Form, because that would kill us. Oh, it did! When I talked about it at the time, I said it's pretty unlikely that it happened. Man, I talked about that like almost an entire act ago. That was like our first card pick from Act 2. Could see the future. Alright, Survivor blocks out this turn. Probably playing Dagger Throw and looking for Bouncing Flask. Really expensive Dagger Throw, unfortunately. So we don't care about killing him anymore because it's just a blur. We can still kill him just to reduce the damage a little bit. We're pretty damage constrained. So every bit of damage that we're not putting on Automaton is kind of costly. But I still think it's better than not doing it. I should have put the neutralized damage on him too. There's no reason not to. This looks painful. I think this turn is Afterimage, Blade Dance, Speed Pot, and Prey. Would we consider the Afterimage Mummified Hand hitting a Shiv to be good or bad? Oh wait, Shiv's cost 0. That's the irrelevant question. Hopefully it hits Dash. But we can't do anything to make it hit Dash. It just either does or doesn't. Bouncing Flask is okay too. Alright. Is there a world where we survive this turn? Draw a bunch of zero-cost stuff. Oh, zero-cost defend makes us survive. We actually, playing the Ascender's Vein is a health neutral here, because it's a card, so it would give us 1 armor, and cost us 1 health. Alright, well, that's scary. We're forced to Wraith Form on this turn. I mean, I guess that means Wraith Form does last through the Hyper Beam. We're just way short on damage here. It's just not gonna happen. Maybe if it hits Predator, we can like catch up a little bit. Yeah, we're too slow. Okay. It's gonna take a bit of a miracle here. Backflip can make miracles happen. Alright, these cards are bad, so let's backflip and make them skip a shuffle. Dagger Throw can make miracles. It can also make us skip Bouncing Flask, though, which is the only real damage in the deck. If there was a Reflex in hand, I'd do it. I guess I will do it, just for the 3 damage. Oh. Okay. Sure. Darn. Alright, we've blocked the Hyper Beam. Alright, both Bouncing Flasks are playable. Maybe. Maybe we can get there. Let's see where the Bouncing Flasks go before we start shivving. Strike and Shivs can kill this Orbling, which removes him as a target. Oh wait, no, we want a Bouncing Flask. Cool, it hit all orbs. Okay, so we care about the turn 2 turns from now, when he's flailing and we're out of intangible. Or I guess that's just next turn. So we care about next turn. So we want him to take 6 and 5 and then die. So that's 11. So we need to do 8 damage to him. And we can't kill him practically, but we still need the kunai proc. Okay. Looks like we're dying next turn, but maybe, somehow. Blade Dance kills him. Still need to block for 40 with 1 dex. Doesn't seem likely. Maybe Dagger Throw draws a chain of backflips and leg sweeps. It might be possible. It did not happen. Okay, well, win streak over. That's okay. You know what we should have done? We should have killed one of the Orblanks to trigger Gremlin Horn. That was the way to look for random stuff to happen. But that was a really long odds fight. It was going to be tough. I thought we had enough damage, but not getting all the bouncing flasks to land in the first shuffle was pretty brutal. Being forced to Wraith form by the Orbling's attack was pretty bad too. This felt like a kind of a strong run. I guess after Act 1 we started to stabilize. I shouldn't say it was strong, but Act 1 was really bad. But we did an okay job. I guess we only got 2 relics in Act 2, which is pretty brutal. We actually got kind of a lot of relics in Act 1. But we dodged all the Act 2. Getting just a blue candle and a Maul Bank in Act 2 is not very helpful. So we were kind of just like an Act 1 deck that limped through Act 2 and managed to survive. Maybe we should have taken a more aggressive path here. If we'd done this, like, maybe we should have done this 3 elite with a mega path. Good chance we would have just died. But I mean, we had the malaise, right? So like, if we take shots at Act 2 elites, maybe we have a higher win rate here. But we took a bunch of fires, and even then didn't get very many upgrades. So I don't know how we were supposed to win this one. Probably what we were supposed to do is pick all the Endless Agonies from the beginning of the seed, and then not pick Snecko Eye. Definitely seems like a winnable seed, just didn't quite get there.